Coach Swinney.
All right, well, lucky day for y'all. I lost my voice, so I don't know where it went, but hopefully I'll find it soon. We've had a great week, really grateful for all the people that work hard to put this on. It's a great experience for our staff, our families, our players, and I'm sure for both teams there's a lot of work that goes into it. Practice areas, and then also creating opportunities and experiences, whether it's great places to eat, being able to have a beach day, and so forth. So got to go to a basketball game last night. Maybe I lost my voice cheering for the Heat. I don't know, but it's been a great trip, and it's two great teams. Tennessee is one of the best teams in the country, and has had an amazing year. So it should be a great game. We're thankful to be here and represent the league and represent Clemson and in a place that's always been special to our fans and to college football. So thank you all for all that y'all have done to make it a great week as well.
Thank you very much, Coach. And now, Coach Heupel.
I just want to say thank you to the Orange Bowl Committee in South Florida. The hospitality for our program has been absolutely fantastic. It's been a great week. Before we got down here, having played in it and coached in it before, I was able to just relate to our players and staff what this week is all about and the opportunities that they were going to have to see South Florida and have a great week of experiences. And you guys have rolled out the orange carpet and shown us a great week. We appreciate everything so much and are certainly looking forward to the football game. It's been a long time since Tennessee's been here. Really proud of what this program's done in the last 23 months since our staff arrived. Really proud of our players, playing a great opponent here tomorrow and looking forward to that. We've seen a lot of VFLs, former players, starting to make their way down here, and I know our fan base is too. It's great to see all those former players show up, and looking forward to going out and competing with our football team tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Coach. Now, we'll open it up for questions for both coaches. We ask that you please raise your hand, and a microphone will be brought to you. Please state your name and affiliation before asking your question. Questions are now open.
Hi, Tim Reynolds of the Associated Press here in Miami. This question's for Dabo. I know you joked about losing your voice last night at the Heat game, but if I'm not mistaken, you and Spo have been friends for a minute here, and I'm just curious what the benefit is from coaches kind of learning tricks of the trade when it's different sports and different philosophies, and just if you could share a little bit of what maybe you've shared with Spo and what you've learned from him.
Yeah, he's a guy that I got to know. We have a mutual friend that connected us several years ago, and then he reached out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or so, and wanted to come to Clemson, and so that was a really cool thing. He flew in for a day with one of his assistants, and listen, I mean, it doesn't really matter what the sport is, or even if you're in leadership and you're dealing with people, there's so much you can learn, and especially when you're in a competitive environment. And even though he's in the pros, especially basketball, a lot of those guys are young guys, and so we're dealing with young guys, and again, competitive dynamics, leadership, culture, all these type of things. But so that's how we first got to know each other, and then we've just stayed in touch throughout the years. And we actually came down with my sons to a playoff game last May, and that was pretty cool. So I'm 2-0 in what is this, 22, and I let him know that last night. So brought some good mojo, but it's fun, But I think that's what coaches do. Is collaborate. I think our profession is really unique that way, and that like we have our AFCA convention coming up in another week or so, and all these coaches come from all over. I mean, thousands, and we talk and we meet. I mean, we literally played Ohio State one year. It was the craziest thing. It was I think it was the game. I don't think it was this game. I think it was the game out in Arizona. And not long after that game, we met as a staff, like their staff, our staff, and we kind of got together and talked through the game. It was crazy. And so that's one of the cool things about our profession is we compete, but we collaborate and always have. And, it's not the case in most industries, right? Like Coke doesn't sit down with Pepsi at the end of the year and say, well, hey, boys, what do you think? Let's see how this goes. But football coaches do that. There's just so many relationships, and that's what makes the game really unique. And so just relationships like that come through collaboration that crosses over the sports and business world, et cetera.
Okay.
Good morning, Mark Stoll with the Miami Times. I have a question for you both, Coach Swinney and Coach Heupel. First, Coach Swinney, what's the impact that Mike Reed has had on your staff this year, being recently elevated to assistant head coach? And for you, Coach Heupel, for Tim Banks, you recently added him. What's his impact been for you this year as a defensive coordinator?
I couldn't hear the back end of that question, excuse me.
Tim Banks,
Yeah.
what's his impact has been for you this year as defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I'll start it out. Tim's been a phenomenal leader on the defense side of the football, and when we were going through the process of finding our defense coordinator 2 years ago, looking for somebody that had experience, that was a great leader, that was multiple in what he was able to do, was relationship driven and had a great ability to teach, and through all the things that we encountered when we first arrived on campus, his steadiness, his leadership, his ability to gain, buy-in from the guys around him. And that's, staff members that were coming in. Not everybody had worked together. There were some common threads where there were some relationships there, previous relationships. But then getting all of our players to buy into what we're doing. And he's done nothing but do a great job of continuing to grow what we're doing on that side of the football. And you can see that in the way that our guys play for him.
Yeah, Mike Reed has, he's just a great leader. He's been with me since the 2013 season, so he's, I guess, going on year 10 or whatever, and has done a phenomenal job. I mean, he's coached a bunch of great players at Clemson. He's been a part of some of the best defenses in college football over the last decade. He's coached first-rounders and everything in between. He's a great recruiter, great communicator. Really knows the game. He's also our special teams coordinator. So just, and he's a great friend. Love his family. He's got a great, beautiful family. His wife Kim and Michaela and Milan, his daughters. So just a guy that has really grown and would be a great head coach as well. So it was easy. As we had we had a lot of staff transition last year for the first time in a while. So it was easy to be able to promote him to the assistant head coach and lean on him in a lot of areas.
Down front.
Adam Sparks, Knox News for Josh. You've got 3 players opting out, all good players. You've got your offensive coordinators gone, and you've recently had a quarterback change. In a regular season, you may have one of those changes in a given week. To have all of them at once, how is the challenge different for you as a coach, and how do you navigate all those changes within one game?
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, that's kind of the landscape of what happens at times inside your program. When you're having success and during the course of bowl season, you can see that across the country. The unique thing is you have a couple extra weeks to prepare and plan for those situations. You're not dealing with it in a 7-day span. We lost some really good players. I think that provides unique opportunity, and that's the tough thing and the great thing about college football is that essentially a quarter of your rosters, graduating every single year. And so with that provides new opportunity to go make plays because you got more snaps on the football field. It provides opportunities in leadership. It's the great thing about college football is that, you're essentially building your roster and your football team every single January, and that's always true, but I think in the landscape of college football, it's certainly true and more evident, more prevalent now with the transfer portal too.
The rear.
Hey Dabo, this is Anna Adams with Clemson 24/7. We saw Sheridan Jones not practicing yesterday. Just wanted to know if he was going to play in the Orange Bowl and if his career is done at Clemson.
What was the last part?
And if he's done at Clemson.
Oh, I'm not sure, Sheridan, he could come back. He's been dealing with a hip flexor, so it's going to be close. You know, he's one of those guys that's played a lot. He's got a lot of experience, but been battling a little bit. So we'll see. But as far as is he done at Clemson, he's declared this as his senior year all year. But as you know, a lot of these guys have. I guess we're going to deal with it for a couple more years, I guess, with the COVID year. So I don't know if it's his last time. A lot of these guys are going to decide that after the game.
For both coaches, Tom D'Angelo from Palm Beach Post. Both of you were in a similar situation where one loss at the end of the year, you probably more likely would have been in the playoffs. So in that situation, some teams find it hard to be motivated to play in this game because of the disappointment. How long did it take for you guys to get over that disappointment, and what were you able to do to keep them motivated and make sure that this game was important to them?
Yeah, we had to reset the following week, and I think you guys played the week after as well. The only reason we've gotten to this point, these players didn't come into this and just inherit it. They've worked for it.